Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Purple Stars podcast. I'm Sarah, your host. And as we promised, we have another episode with Ben Yew. You are in for a real treat. We are going to talk about a very personal part of his life. And please welcome him back. Ben, you have so many amazing life stories. And I wonder, because we talked a lot about, in the last episode, a lot about connection. What helps you to establish trust with people? Because often you connect with people that you've never met before. These are strangers, and you capture them in one of the most vulnerable moments. Is there something from all the experience you have, what you could share with us, what helps you to build trust?
To start, I'm sort of an introvert person because, black sheep of the family and all that. I do zero negative self-confidence. I didn't have that. Like, it took me years to pick that up. I had a few friends that gave me a bit of confidence boost along the way from school. And then I went to sales role, and I'm not good at sales. I mean, I think uni days when I was in UK, Newcastle, up north, and they got this Geordie accent and really hard to understand. And they asked me to, make cold calls and stuff like, man, I could not call. The boss looked at me, I got fired straight at the same day. Well, I wasn't fired, but I wasn't hired. It was like a test. So anyway, I know that, I need to work on that stuff, work on the confidence first and then work on the connection. So, but I didn't know how. So I took up a few sales roles and I started learning about people. All right. I learned about confidence and how to connect. But what I didn't realize is that it's like learning. You have a lot of input, but when it is time you output, say I can learn French in like a year. I just read about it. I memorize all the stuff. But when I go out and speak, it's entirely different. If the words is stuck in the mind, it cannot get out. So like, okay, how do I, line it up, string the words together? You can't because you just didn't have enough practice. So practice, you improve on that. So having said that, so I know I realized that when I was young, because most of the people are studying, my siblings are studying, my cousins all the A scorers and all that, they study. But what I did not study, I watched TV. I watched a lot of TV, a lot of movies. Then that my dad used to be so sarcastic. It wasn't like a motivation thing. It's like, one day maybe you work in Hollywood, maybe it's not going to work for you. It's like, stop watching TV and go study or read a book. I don't read books, so I just don't have the capacity to go more than 5 minutes. My mind doesn't work that way. So anyway, but I watched a lot of movies. But what I learned from that, I didn't realize until much later in life, to know that while I was watching movie, I was learning body language. I'm picking up drama. Like you watch, like some mom watch some, like say Bold and Beautiful stuff. Like, man, that acting is terrible because they need to act so hard to show you how they feel. But the good actors and actresses, they don't have to do that because it's subtle, but you get it. And I'm getting the subtle body language, and I'm learning that without realizing I'm learning that. So I've been watching years and years. I watch nearly every movie I can watch until there's no other movie for me to watch TV series. So I watch that. Anyway, then I start connecting the dots, about connecting the dots to see that, okay, I can read body language really well now because of the movies I watch. And now I need the confidence to connect that and speak to someone. Now, yes, you can speak to someone, but would they listen to you? All right. So that's where I start to, again, learn from the movies, pick up from experience, and all progressing. It is not a one-off thing. Yeah, I learn along the way, make my mistakes, make my fair share of saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. It probably get me in trouble a few times. Things I should not say, I say sometimes. So anyway, as I learn along the way, I learn on how to connect with people. So that's another piece of the puzzle for me to, now I got a bit more confidence. I know how to read body language, but how do I connect? So then I realized one thing that I have, I think it could be a tiny gift that I have, is I'm curious about people. I want to learn something from someone when I speak to, say, even anyone I met on the street, or you, even anyone that I cross paths with. I always believe, I don't care how young they are, or which industry they are in, or whoever they are. I know sometimes, most of the time, I can learn something from them, even if it's a small thing. I'm just waiting to pick out the keywords or key point could inspire me. So when I have a chat with people, I listen. I ask the question that not like a journalist would ask, to try to pick something else to talk about or be controversial about it. No, I genuinely interested with that, in that person's story. And like, for example, I like to talk about passion, like how this project came about. It's just having a conversation first, but because I'm curious, I want to learn myself. Like, why do you do what you do today? Why? What is your why? Why do you do this? And then they start saying, "Oh, actually, no one asked me that in many years. I know that, I knew that, but I moved on from there and I started doing that. So you asking me reignited my passion, or let me share my story, how I got started." And it's like, I like the story. When you start saying that, it's like, this is where I'm going. That's why sometimes when I share, I go off track a bit, because I feel I can't just give you an answer there, because it's like giving you a chorus of the music without a crescendo, without the build up, and
Mm.
without understanding the backstory behind it. You need the backstory behind it to understand. So I needed that, and I learned from there to genuinely listen and understand. So I guess to answer your question, like how I connect with people, is I genuinely like to know more about a person and in their life. It's not about what you achieve, is how, what got you there. What is the voice in your head that you think I can learn from? And to know that, like, sometimes I open up a bit, or it depends, because that's where the learning body language works. Some people just don't want to talk. You know what? You can't apply the same technique for everyone. It doesn't work that way. When I look at someone, I say, no, I'm not going to go there. There are some people I found, like, say, on a shoot, I shoot on a wedding day. When I rock up, there are people that shoot 3, 4 weddings like back to back, and good for them. They do that. I don't. I like 1 or 2 max a week. I try, if possible, only once a week, because I want to build that up. I look forward for the wedding, that rather than rock up the next day for your wedding and say, how was yesterday? Well, I don't know. I finished at 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm very tired, but yeah, today's your wedding. So how do you feel? Not so good, right? Because, man, I gave 110% yesterday. So maybe I got like 5% left. But I build that up. Trust me, that's not going to work. Seriously, you don't have the energy and capacity to do that. Even your number one triathlon athlete and all that, it's just your mind. It's not a physical thing. It's also the mind thing. So when I rock up, I look forward. And there are many weddings when I rock up, the bright energy was low. It's really low, because obviously it is stressed out. Is my dress not ready? And this and that. You get all that. But when I rock up with energy to say, hey, everybody, what's up? You know, and I like, blah, blah, blah. So I lift up and my role as a photographer is not just to capture that, whatever happening. I need to lift the energy up, give it a bit of pumping, and say, hey, you look good. You know, what is this? Oh, the dress. Oh my God, it's amazing. Check out the ring. How heavy is this? I come in with stupid jokes and all that, just to lift the atmosphere. Everyone start laughing a bit, having some fun. That's where I can start capturing happiness, or interesting vibe, or just fun, or just the energy levels. Even they may not be laughing, but at least it's more positive. It is more lively, and my image captures that. But there are photographers who likes a bit of melancholy vibe, bit of dark, moody, sorry, which is good. But that's not me. You. Everyone have a different voice. So my voice is energy, laughing, a lot of jokes. And the funny thing is, yeah, I throw some dirty jokes sometimes, because people seem to like that. So they laugh, and it's like, oh my God, you just said that, and blah blah blah. We laugh, but I don't just throw dirty jokes and make you laugh, because I need to know if it's safe to do that first. So I sort of set my line and test the water a bit. I say, oh, they are good. I can't just, as I say, I built that up progressively. So throughout the day, I can say anything I like, make anyone laugh, and then get all the best shots. And when it's time to get romantic, I'll say, something that, set them a bit of a scene and all that. Then I make them laugh again. Then the laughter with a close up shot. So I sort of created all that moments, but it's candid. And when my second shooter sort of tried what I did, it didn't happen, and it felt really awkward, because he did not build that up. He did not
Mm.
build the trust and connection yet. And he's not me. I mean, he can do his way, but you can't use my joke this way, because it sounds wrong and awkward, wrong place, wrong time. And he did. I'm like, oh my God, you just say that. You can't say that. But I can, because I build up from the morning. So it's about building the trust to know that I'm a friendly person. Whatever I say, whatever I share, whatever question I ask, you don't have to answer. You don't have to act it out. You don't have to follow what I do. For me, it's just pitching and trying to loosen your grip in a way to hopefully you have more fun. So it's just to distract you from your current mindset. So that is my role. So if it requires me to throw some stupid jokes, dirty jokes, and fun jokes, or whatever it is, or even a bit of insult at times or puns, I get away with it because the context is right. Even it sounds wrong, but the context is right. But obviously, I I'm quite careful with what I say. I say that, but I think and I test the water first. So that's how I connect with people. Even for commercial shoot, I do a lot of. Well, I wouldn't say I do a lot. I did some corporate headshots when I first said no to, and then I said everyone said, "Oh, it's a corporate headshot. So boring." The CEO come in with a very unhappy face. Why the hell I'm doing this? Why do I need to do this? Because my comms department said I needed this. So he come here as a really long face. I'm like, hey, how's your day today? I was like, oh, I don't know. I just need to get it done with. He said, oh, you got 15 minutes now. I got 5. I give you 5. I'm like, shit. Okay, I'm going to figure things out. So don't focus on how much time I have. Focus on what I can do. So I just like, hey, so you've been the CEO for many years here. So yeah, why? Just caught him off guard a bit. It's like, wow, because my dad passed this on to me, or and then I ask questions slowly. I start layering the question, guiding them. That we became sort of really close. And then I need to share a bit of my story as well. I said, hey, I'm doing this because I love what I do, but actually a bit of backstory. I did this, I had a bit of problem. So I open up a bit so he can open up a bit. So a bit like what you just mentioned, sharing what you have does help. It does. So, and that's why I need to go through as many as I can, drama in life, so I can apply more when I connect with people. So, and that's how I help people open up and be themselves and forget the camera, because it's not a photo shoot. It's a conversation that I'm capturing. That's it.
Wow, I love that. And I wonder, you're so good with opening other people up. What does someone need to do to build trust with you?
Build trust with me, meaning for me to open up or for them to open up?
For you to open up. Because you are usually the one behind the camera, the one asking the question, the one capturing the moments. What does someone else need to do to capture Ben Yew?
Yeah. Now that's a very good question. It's exactly the same as what I did, but opposite on the other end. Meaning, if we have gone through certain things together, I think I was in a cab once, and Uber once, and for some reason, is it how's things? I said, wow, I am amazing. I'm alive today. I'm good. Yeah, I'm given a second chance at life. I've just gone through, cancer and all that. So he said, hey, what? I just gone through that like last year. No, sorry, not last year. It's probably 5 years. I can't remember the whole thing. But man, when you connect with someone because of your past experience that you've gone through, you don't need many words. Like from a survivor to another, from another dramatic things they've gone through with another. So when you connect, you don't need to experience, you don't need to share the pain or the challenges or the journey. We get it without words. And we connected straight away and said, man, how, then we don't share the past, but we share how we take opportunity of what we have today to what we can do tomorrow, the next day, how we give back to the community, what we can do. So it's sort of, I wouldn't say it's something that I can pinpoint on. It's like that's one thing that that word that people can get me to open up. It's more towards what you have experienced, and so happen we experience the same thing, or through depression, or through the going to dark moments, or through some stupid thing you've done in life, like losing, the bad sense of direction and all that. We can laugh about it, but we feel it. You don't have to explain to me that how it feels to get lost and, have more incident or drama stack up because of that stupid mistake. I get it because I've done it all. I've get lost in so many places and all that. I get it. So how people connect with me is by sharing their experiences that I I can straight away connect the dots. That I went through exactly that last year. I did that last year. And that's when I feel that we are on the same page and that it helps to open up. But I guess it is the experience, that connects and helps me to open up when they share about that. Yeah.
And you said you had cancer. Could you tell us a little bit more about it? What kind of cancer did you have? How did you find out about it? And maybe also, how did it impact your life?
Okay, this is going to be a long one.
We have lots of time.
Yeah, I was traveling a bit. I think 2019, I was flying a lot and doing a bit of a cool tour. And I think I was living the dream. Oh, I said, okay, like we all think, pre-COVID and all that. 2020 is going to be amazing. We are like, we're going to kill it. And I look at my schedule for 2020 and 2021. I was like, oh, it's amazing, my bookings, and I'm traveling again. Looks good. And then on my last trip in Morocco, I think, anyway, prior to the trip, now because of my flight, I do quite a few flights. Every time the plane ascend and descend, like your eardrums pop in and out. That's what I learned from the specialist. So when the plane descends, your eardrum pops in, it creates a bit of pressure. Now, normally people will have the nostril path and nasal, whatever. It passed through that to take out the pressure. That's why your ear pops, so that sort of work. Well, my ear did not pop for a day, first 3 hours, then a day, a week, a month, 3 months. Man, it's been 5 months, it did not pop, and it hurts like hell when it descends every time. So I went to a specialist and checked. He said, we just got to pop your eardrum, release the pressure, and that could be just it. But normally happens to kids, but men of your age, I think, just get some samples and just to check. So I was put on sleep, put on the all this medical thing, and then she collected a sample, and I didn't hear from them. So that was towards the end of the year. I went to my trip, my shoot, came back beginning of the year. I think 1st of January or something, which is no 1st or 2nd January, because 1st January is still closed. 2nd of January, I have an appointment with her maybe mid-January. So 2nd January, she called me up and said, you better come in. I'm like, I got no thoughts because I feel 2020 is going to be amazing. That was before COVID hit, Australia as well. So, and I went there and she sat me down and said, Ben, yes, you have cancer, because there was a bit of doubt there at first, but I still wasn't prepared for that. Now, the next intelligent question, like everyone would have asked, and I watch a lot of movies to know that the question you should always ask is, how much time do you have? I forgot to ask that. I was in deep shock. I could not believe my ears. And the first thing I think of wasn't like, how much time do I left? It's like, man, I got a wedding next week. I got a few weddings I will line up. How do I shoot a wedding? I'm just thinking about clients. And my work, I forgot to ask that. So I was so shocked. They said, now I might take this report and go home and process that. So I came home and I spoke to my wife. I told my wife that I had cancer. She could not believe me. She thought I was joking, or I was lying. I kept saying, no, this is real. This is real. She could not. Many times. I showed the moment I took a report, it's like, oh yeah, looks like it's real. It's going. Then she asked me. I think she asked me. I'm quite sure she asked me, how much time do I have? Like, I forgot to ask that question. I forgot to ask that one important question. How much time do I have? So I'm like, okay, I got to call up my specialist, but she's so busy until next week she can meet me. So I won't be meeting her until next week. And for the next 2 to 3 days, I look at my kids, my wife, like it's the last time. I don't know if I'm going to live a day, a week, a month, a year. I don't know all that. I don't know if I got time to how much time do I have left? I didn't know that. And that was hard because that roller coaster ride, just when I thought I've experienced it all, done all the crazy thing in my life, that was next level stuff. For the first time, well, probably not the first time, but I would say the first time that big, that I have no control of my life at all. There's nothing I can do. Just let go and let God, or whatever comes, just take it, because I can't do anything about it. It doesn't matter if you start working out and get you healthy. It's not going to change the fact that you're probably going to die. Just when? Like today, tomorrow, next week? So that few days was crazy. I've never experienced that before. And then I was lucky in the sense that the report also was sent to my GP. So I saw my GP a few days later. And then he said, Ben, you got time. It's all right. You got more than 2 years. Your clock haven't started taking yet, so you have time. So that is like, okay, so I'm going to set up my will, check out my savings, and plan out financially, prep for my family. But yeah, at least I had time. I feel that, okay, I got time to prep now. I got 2 years. Come on, I got to work this out. Well, more than 2 years. Oh, well, from what he said. So I start planning, what I need to do. So when I met the specialist, then they refer me to the oncologist, and they say, but you're good. I mean, it's very treatable. It's stage 1. It's like, oh, sounds good. I was lucky because it was found early. So the cancer is in my nasal something. So honestly, I can't remember the whole lengthy name of nasal phagus or something. It's somewhere in there between the nose and the ear and all that. So yeah, we got to start your just radiotherapy, and that's it. I'm like, oh, cool. I think I got this. And then the next day, they called me, like, Ben, it just went to stage 2. We're going to add the chemo in it as well, so it's going to be a long one. I was like, what? It's just a few days and all that. It's like, okay, so it's scary now. It's growing, it's moving. So stage 2 could jump to stage 3, and then pretty much, yeah, you're in trouble, like deep trouble. So straight away, the chemo radiation, we started the next week. And then the day before my first radiation treatment, he called it off because he said, that's a bit too hard. If I hit this so hard on you, and I needed to hit quite hard on this before it went further, I need to cut it down because you will go deaf. You will lose your hearing sense. You will lose hearing tone. You go deaf if I hit this on you, but I need it to. So he reduces that again. So I managed to retain my hearing. I lost hearing like 30% or 35%. I still lost it. That's why, sometimes there's one reason I don't pick up weddings anymore because I probably couldn't hear what you're trying to say. So I still can hear. It's just not. They're just like, yeah, what did you just say? So, and sometimes it's quite offensive. People think that they just repeated 5 times. Moving on from there, it was a very interesting journey because I've been shooting weddings or destination and all that for the past 15 years. And to know that I got to give that up, it's really hard because I love what I do. I'm passionate, and I'm curious, and I love to work with everyone. And the experience that I gained, like, man, that's amazing. But the journey is this. When someone tells you you got cancer, the first thing is yourself. You got to accept that, like, why me? Why should I get cancer, man? I mean, seriously, I think I've been a good boy. I think, I didn't do anything bad. Like, why me? So that's why all the voices and all the magazine come to sort of connect the dots. Is that I went YouTube because I need to search for answers. I said, why me? So, and I saw this video of this guy who shared. It's a different video. He said, why not you? What makes you so special? You're not special. You are ratio, man. You are ratio. And then I start creating, points for myself as well. It's like, okay, I'm a ratio. There is a certain percentage of people that will get cancer. It's not if, it's will. So maybe 1 in 15. I don't know. It could be less these days, maybe 1 in 5. I don't know. But there is a ratio, say, even in the brighter side of things, maybe 1 in 20, 1 in 15. Say 1 in 15 will get cancer. All right. That's a fact. And then I look at my family, my dad, my mom, my siblings, my friends, my relatives and all that. I look at all that and look at that like, okay, I honestly live a life, like really push my boundaries. I saw some amazing weddings, met some amazing people. I traveled to amazing places, and experience that I had throughout my life, even before my work and all that. I had quite a bit. And if I were to go today, man, I thankful it's me, not my kids, my wife, and all that. So if someone in a family within 15 must take it, why not me? So I accepted that fact that I'm thankful that it's me, and that's the start of my journey to on the positive side of things. Yeah, I'm glad it's me. So from there, I start looking at like, okay, now how to make myself stronger now mentally. You need to accept the fact you got it first and thankfully accepted that. And then the next step is, how do I move on from that? So I saw this video, like, there's always someone worse off than you. Obviously, if you compare yourself with healthy people that live forever, it's good. But I got to be real here because, not everyone are that lucky in the way. So I found this guy, I think his name is Michael Crossland, over east from Sydney. I think I didn't know he was Australian then. But anyway, wow, his video was inspirational. I was like near the dark side. I'm like, gee, I'm not going anywhere here. even to know the thought I'm thankful is still a tough mental game. He said he was young. Those days, there's experimental drug, his kid. And then out of 15 kids, 14 died already with the experimental drug. And even if he don't take the drug, he will still die. But with the drug, he'll still probably die. But there's a few percent of hope. So the parents, they say the parents got to make such a hard call to say that, to approve, use it on my child. My child will die, may die, but 14 tried the drug and died earlier. So would you want to spend more time with your kid, or would you want to try and maybe there's hope? So he is the exception. He tried, and his parents made the hardest call in their life to let them inject that on him, and he survived. And then it was a challenging journey, and then cancer came back again and again and again. It's like when I look at that, like, come on, that's like stage 4 right there. I'm stage 1 and now stage 2. Yeah, I'm not progressing well, but he had it as a kid. He, a young kid, he didn't experience life, tick on the boxes and all that. So, man, you look at yourself, you're lucky to not, to be at my age, to experience things and to get that. So thankful again. It's like, okay, I think I got this, and I know I'm going to hit chemo hard. So I went to work out, get my body ready for the impact. And yeah, it was a very challenging journey. And along the way, I ended up in the hospital a few times due to some stupid things that I've done, or things I should not have done because I didn't, read the label medication that I needed to suffocate. I went to hospital because I had fried chicken after chemo, which is probably not advisable because my kid needed some fried chicken. Because coming up from chemo, I spent a few hours in the hospital and all that. I thought, it's going to be fine because I didn't feel the impact yet. So kids say, let's have, I'm not going to mention brands and all that because it's not as a bad food. It's just not good for me at that time. So I went to that and had some fast food, and I said, crispy chicken and the strips is really good. Man, that went crazy. I ended up in the hospital, a lot of complication, and they have this special passport for me, and they list down the thing. If any one of these 10 things happen to you, you waive this passport and go through emergency ward, you'll be treated straight away, priority number 1. Just one of this. When I was going through it, sweating and blood and bleeding and all that stuff, I was thinking 3-4 parts of it. Like, I think I need to go to the hospital. I'm not doing so well. Anyway, that was a roller coaster ride. Yeah, and I went back a few times, and yeah, been thankful for my journey. And without that, I don't think I'll learn so much about life, and probably my direction will be still doing what I love, but sometimes without a bigger purpose. So I guess it's a journey that I need to go through, and to know the pain, to feel the pain. I feel that it's not just a physical thing. It's such a mental thing, and it sort of toughened me up a bit as well. So yeah, that is sort of a compressed version of that journey.
In our previous episode, you talked about finding the positive even in the hardest times. What do you think cancer taught you, other than being grateful for life?
Cancer taught me to have a balance in life. That's number 1. It doesn't matter how successful you are in whatever field that you do. It's about having a balance in life with a family and your goal in life that you want to achieve. And to also have a very clear end goal. Like, say, if I'm still shooting destination wedding for maybe another 5 years or whatever years that I want to do, you keep doing. It's not I won't call it a rat race because you still enjoy what you do, you're passionate about. But what's your end goal you want to achieve? So for me, I have the experience. I've done this, I've done that, but what I want to do at the end of what I want to, I wouldn't say leave a legacy behind, it's a bit big. It's more to what can I help? And given a second chance of life, I feel that I need to give back, because I feel that if I don't use this opportunity to help others in the community, or I do a lot of pro bono work and all that, I do what I need to do, because I feel that the moment I stop doing that, maybe I'm not needed so much in the world, so I've probably taken off again. So I need to pursue my dream in a direction where I could benefit and help others as well. It's not just my dream now. It's like what I can give back, what I can inspire. That's where the message of the book and all that comes in play, where I feel that I want to share the voices in my head and all the inspiring people's head to others to help someone who probably going through this or worse, or along that line to get off the edge, and to find a positive way of looking at things, and to understand that how you connect the dots to find your path. Like I just mentioned, like loosening the grip, you get off track and all that. Yeah, that's all it's going to happen. So just you need to figure that out. So that cancer journey opened up my mind to a lot of things. But in summary, like good balance and purpose in life just got really clear very quickly. Some people take forever to figure out. Some people take 50 years, 60 years to figure that out. What's my true purpose in life? Well, I got there really quickly, because when you got so little time, you start thinking quick. So I start thinking really quick, like, this is where I want to see myself, what I see myself doing. So and that wasn't in my plan earlier. It became my plan.
It's beautiful how you say you want to give back. And I know you speak to the soul of a lot of people. And we read in your bio where you said colors are the language that is the language that speaks to the soul. Could you talk a little bit more about your fascination when it comes to colors and how they have the power to evoke emotions?
I would say it's sort of, now, whether we like it, like what you're wearing, purple, and like I wear black, but my favorite color is navy for, whatever that is. Now, everyone have a different color or preference that make them happy, make them feel at home, make them feel at ease. And every color could change along the way. Sometimes, like, I have enough of blue, now I try different color. Yeah, we pivot, we change, colors along the way. So it could change. It's an evolving stage. But and at a certain point, you will know what color you like. So sometimes you feel that, for example, you rock up to office like, oh, it's a corporate office. Everyone wear dark and moody and sad and corporate and serious. And then this lady come in with yellow, like bright yellow. And like what happens with everyone's eyes? It lit up everyone's eyes. And some could in a bad way, some good way. It doesn't matter what way. It did light up people's lives. Suddenly everyone just wake up like, whoa, that's bold. Or a man just walk in there in a pink suit. Like, why? That's bold. And it could be a topic of conversation. It could change the conversation altogether. Like, we're talking about, the law about this, the political background. Did that guy just wear a pink suit? So it sort of changed the mood and the flow of the day or the mindset of that people or the person at that point of time. So colors have impact on people. When we look at it, like when I ask some people, when I interview, say, oh, blue is good because when I think of blue, is the color of the beach, the ocean, the sky. It relaxes me. So everyone is connected different colors. So I wanted to bring that up because it sort of relates to mental health as well, resilience as well. Being in the right place, being in the right time. It's not just words. It's not just visually, creative portrait. It's also about when you look at the color, certain point of time where you say you feel down, you don't want to look at black, maybe so, or maybe dark color. You want to do something bright in your life, like a sunny color, whatever that is that you like, even purple sometimes, because it could mean about mental health. So although there is a definition about color, the meaning behind the colors, it's not exactly that meaning sometimes, because everyone's different. Look at colors different, because sometimes you probably have a phobia for certain colors because when you're young, this happened to you and it's in that color. So it's like, I don't want to deal with that anymore. So everyone's different. So I like to bring the element of colors just to give it a bit more variety and to be a holistic approach or comprehensive approach to more angles to look at resilience, mental health, and all that inspiring stories that you can relate more with. Because I could say blue is my favorite color, and like, wait, that guy is blue too. So I like to maybe connect. I mean, maybe the word is that is extra one dot to connect. That's extra one dot to connect. So that color is just one more. Yeah.
And how do you incorporate colors in your personal life to enhance your mental well-being?
Oh, I never actually planned in any way to say I'm going to wear this, I'm going to do this to use color to enhance myself. But how it enhanced me is when I look at the people around me, when I go out there and look at buildings or things that is sort of inspiring me sometimes in a creative way. When I look at, say, cool murals with punchy colors, or maybe even look at the construction worker with those bright PPE attire, and just like, whoa, that's pretty bright, but wait a minute, look at the orange cones. If I can use that on my certain aspect of my website, I mean, you just get inspiration from different colors. I don't put the colors on myself to get out there. I open up my mind and my heart to absorb the colors around me, to use that to give me inspiration and maybe occasionally a bit of a positive vibe and all that. But yeah, sometimes it's, for me, colors inspires me because, yeah, again, there's a lot of ways you can look at it, a spectrum of colors, like spectrum in life and all that. There's a lot of angles you can look at it. It's how you want to perceive that. So yeah, I guess, but personally for me, it's inspiring to just look at different colors and, yeah, get reminded of certain things as well. Yeah.
This being said, I would love to talk about animals now. You
Okay.
have 2 bunnies. Could you
Yes, I do.
share how do you experience their presence and how do they help you in your life? Maybe even when it comes to your well-being and to find your balance between work and family.
All right. I need to get this straight up. I wanted a dog, but I'm not really good at taking care of dogs. And yeah, man, there's a lot of cleaning up, and I know that, a lot of training, which I don't have time. So, and my kids love dogs too, but you're not getting dogs. Just too much effort to maintain. So, a rabbit will be, quiet and cute and fluffy and huggable and all that stuff. So we got rabbit because my daughter said, "I want rabbit." So we got rabbits. At first, I'm like, just another pet to clean up. I love pets. Don't get me wrong. I just be realistic. Is someone going to clean up all that mess after that? But I mean, rabbits somehow every animal is different. Like dogs are friendly, they hug you, they give you a sense of belonging or friendship or whatever. You have that. But bunnies, they don't get really close to you. Like, you can watch the movie, those are Snow White. Oh, the animals jump on you. It doesn't work that way in reality. They don't come to you. They just stay there. But they are so calming, and they just sit down there and just look at you. It's like you are their part, their movie. They're watching you as you're watching them, and it's sort of vice versa. And then when you hug them with fluffy hair and all that, the fur and all that, it's relaxing. And because, well, I seldom see them panic unless you hear the big sound and a plane fly past, and then they just jump around. But normally, like 99% of the time, they just sit there. They are so calm with their eyes open. Sometimes they don't even know they're sleeping. So it helps you in a way that sometimes when you feel like, in your energy is a bit low, you just look at them, and yeah, I just find it quite calming. I think it helps my family more than myself, to be honest, because I'm working a lot. When I see the kids play or my wife like just cuddle the bunny, I don't know, it just gives a sense of relaxation. It just gives you a sense of place, or I don't know, it's like a complete part of the family, I guess. Yeah.
That's beautiful to hear. Yeah, animals really have this gift to give us peace and to calm us, and just to give us, as you say, like they complete our family. And it's great that you, and I do really agree when it comes to a dog, it's a responsibility where when getting a dog,
Yeah.
you need to be really responsible and know, okay, do we
Yeah.
have, as much as we love dogs, do we have the time capacity to be
Yeah.
great dog parents? And
Yeah.
if it's a no, then it's sometimes also better to get a pet that maybe needs a little bit less maintenance. And we
Yeah.
usually finish all episodes with animal related questions. So I have 3 of them for you.
Okay.
Number 1,
Yeah.
if your bunnies could express themselves through art, what kind of artists do you think they would be?
I would say they are street photographers because they observe and they probably capture in their eye because everything moves around them. They don't move much, at least in my home. So yeah, I think, yeah, street photographers are good observers and capturing, creative composition from there and all that, the light for them, because, we are in their view, and we move, we do our things, we have our thing, playing with kids, watch movie, and they are just observing all of it as we are doing the same. It's like we are the aquarium for them, and they are capturing what they want to capture. So yeah, I think sort of a street photographer will be good for them, or they are maybe, yeah, along those lines. Yeah.
And if you could ask your bunnies a question, what would it be?
Oh, that's a hard one. What actually makes them happy? Because I don't know. I assume like maybe cuddle. Maybe they hate cuddling. You create itch. Stop cuddling me. I don't like your scent or the way you cuddle and the way you hold. So it's good to know that, yeah, what I like to do is say, maybe they just say, just give me space, or, I like to jump on you. Whatever. I mean, it's good to know that what makes them happy and we can help them.
And what is one of the reasons you are grateful for your bunnies?
One of the reasons I'm grateful for my bunnies, well, besides they complete my family to make me feel like at home, because we went to travel once and we had to leave our bunnies somewhere else. And as much as bunnies don't make a lot of noise or at all, they seldom make noise, they are there, but they're not there. But I still feel the presence somehow, and it feels lively. It feels like sometimes, where kids grow up, they leave the house, and they go to school, and my wife is alone last time and all that. So there's a certain kind of loneliness. Sometimes you feel that the home is just an echo and all that. But when you have some pets, say bunnies, and they don't make noise at all, but that there, sometimes you just look at them, it sort of gives you a bit of comfort, I guess. So yeah, I feel that is why I feel, it's really important to have that, even, it's really quiet animal and all that pet. But yeah, I feel that I think even if it's not a rabbit, they have a fish or whatever pet you have, it sort of completes you, because sometimes we need a quiet pet but still be there for you. Maybe it's some sense of like someone's there for you, but they are not, in a way, listener. They are listener. So not a talker. Sometimes you just two people talking, you talk with a partner, you talk with someone. You just need a listener. Now, I'm not really a good listener at times, and I get that, and I that thing sometimes, but bunnies or some pets, or at least you think they are listening. So when you need someone to talk to, they are there to listen.
And Ben, can I ask you for 2 or 3 sentences about our podcast, please?
I like the connection we build, and I feel that the connection we have, the stories that I share, hopefully could inspire someone, or relate with someone, to know that maybe through the cancer journey, or through the stories that I shared, or some of the quote that I requoted from someone, I feel that is very, again, hopefully that could save a life. So what I like about what you do is coming out with a question to help people open up. And similar to teaching, sometimes the more you share, the more you teach, the more you learn about yourself. So what you're doing here, I'm actually learning more about myself, or reminding more about myself about, hey, I had cancer last time. Sometimes I forgot. I take things for granted. I forgot about the balance in life and all that. So by having this conversation or interview, yeah, it reminds me a lot about what I need to do. And yeah, even like what I mentioned earlier, that some of the words you used like sort of reminded me of what I should be doing, and inspires me. So, and maybe give me the right words to use sometimes. So yeah, I never thought of it in this that I could use, because it sort of define what I do clearer, rather than putting so many words together. So yeah, I learned a lot with just this conversation that we have. Yeah.
Ben, thank you so much, and thank you for your time, and most of all for really opening up and giving us such a great insight into your journey, and how you overcome struggles, and how you really always nurture and foster gratitude in your life, and how you just followed your heart's calling. And it's really inspiring, and I'm sure a lot of people loved it.
Thank you, and really appreciate you having me today. And yeah, hopefully our path will cross in the future, face to face one day. Who knows?
For sure. It's a wrap for today, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. If you loved our conversation, please share it with your family and friends. Don't forget to tag us, and we're excited to see you next Wednesday.